Hi everyone, you're watching Sport Today, live from the BBC Sports Centre. I'm Nick Marshall-McCormack. Coming up on the show, the total ban stands. Russia will not compete at next month's Paralympics after losing their appeal. Track cycling's power couple drop in to see us on Sport Today and they tell us they aren't so rosy at home. And complete with a golden nose cone, the rest of the Great Britain teams fly in on a specially chartered jet. Hi, wherever you are around the world, welcome to Sport Today. Russia have had their appeal against their total ban from the Paralympics turned down by the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The court ruled the International Paralympic Committee did not violate any procedural rule in banning the Russian team. The president of the International Paralympic Committee, Sir Philip Craven, said he's satisfied with the outcome of the hearing, but added it isn't a day for celebration. Our sports correspondent Richard Conway says the IPC will feel vindicated after taking a hard line with Russia.
This, of course, stands in stark contrast to the International Olympic Committee. They looked at the situation following the McLaren report. This was a wide-ranging report into those allegations of state-organised doping. But in amongst this report, there were claims that Paralympians, Russian Paralympians, had also been subject to having their positive tests covered up. Sir Philip Craven, who's the president of the IPC, said this was a case of medals over morals, as he put it, and said that there could be no place for Russia at the Paralympics, given how the anti-doping system, in his mind, had been completely undermined and devalued.
After Great Britain's second place finish in the Olympics medal table, the real celebrations are only just beginning. Track cycling's golden couple, Laura Trott and Jason Kenny, flew home after dominating their track to get home and see their dogs and get back to some normal life. But they aren't so rosy at home.
I reckon we know each other. We bicker, don't we? A lot.
Yeah.
About what? What? You're going to tell us you're normal in some way.
Who hasn't washed up? Why the house is a mess? Why Jason uses the side of the bed as a floor drobe?
I do that too. You're like me. We'll get along. You both said earlier that you were living in a bubble the whole time when you were competing. Did you get away from that bubble a little bit? Did you get to see the sights of Rio, hear the sounds, because it's meant to be the marvellous, the magical city?
Yeah, no, we didn't really at all, did we? Like, being cyclists, we tend to not spend much time on our feet. So especially before competition, we really didn't do anything. And then Jace flew back the day after. I flew back 2 days after. So we didn't really get time to see anything, to be honest.
Why was that? Why did you want to get out so early? Was it all the pressure that built up?
Yeah, and you were away from home for a long time. Like, it was basically a month solid away. The month before that, we'd been racing. So it was nice just to kind of get back to our kind of normal home life, I guess.
Laura, I want to talk to you. I want to get inside your head and learn what, you know, athletes have a trigger word when they're racing, something that flicks them into higher speed, to top gear. Can you tell me what it is that when you're on that last lap and you're neck and neck, what do you say to yourself? How do you go to that top speed?
I mean, to be totally honest, it's just like a natural thing. I guess it's kind of weird. Like, being a cyclist, they always say, about getting into the zone. And I think when you're in that moment, it just kind of happens. Like, there's nothing. Sometimes I'll say, you can do this, like, to myself. But never. That's normally before the race to kind of settle my nerves. But yeah, when I'm in the race, I kind of know where I should be putting myself. So yeah, it just kind of happens.
I wish it happened for me at the gym. It never does. Try and get in the zone, I get tired. Jason, for you, you're now 6 Olympic gold medalists, tied with Sir Chris Hoy. I am so amazed by your calmness, your demeanour, and everyone is. They're just, how does this guy get so good but stay so calm? Can you compare yourself to other athletes like Roger Federer, who, when he grew up, threw tantrums, threw the tennis racket around, he had to learn how to behave himself and how to control himself. How did you learn to do that?
I think it's just the way that people cope with it. You know, it's just the way that I cope with. I remember the first time I went away with British Cycling, and I was a junior at the time, before I went racing, and I just felt really, really sick, and I just quickly kind of got a handle on that. And since then, my coping mechanism is just to stay really, really relaxed. And I know that when I get on my bike and I get on the start line, that I will be ready to go, and I'll get stuck in. You know, so. And I think the coaches have learned to just accept that. And so even if I look like I can't be bothered when I get on my bike, as soon as the gun goes and we set off, you know, I'll be giving 100% every time.
Well, Jason Kenny and Laura Trott have been back home for a few days already, but the rest of the British team arrived home in London on Tuesday morning, still buoyant from their best ever medal haul in Olympics away from their home shores. The double gold medal winning gymnast Max Whitlock and the boxing gold medalist Nicola Adams were first off the plane, but there were plenty more successful Olympians on board. Great Britain won 67 medals in Rio, 27 of those gold. South Africa's Olympians flew into Johannesburg to a fantastic welcome. Plenty for their team to be proud of too. 10 medals in total, including golds for the women's 800-metre sensation Caster Semenya and that world record-breaking triumph in the men's 400 metres by Wade van Niekerk. And Frankfurt was a destination for Germany's homebound Olympic team. They're celebrating 42 medals across 19 sports, including 17 golds. They won gold in the women's football before falling just short for silver against Brazil in the men's final. The New England football manager Sam Allardyce says he has spoken to the former captain John Terry about returning to international football. The Chelsea skipper retired from England duty in 2012, having twice been stripped of the England captaincy, and was never considered an option by previous manager Roy Hodgson. Following their shock defeat to Burnley in the Premier League on Saturday, Liverpool play second-tier side Burton Albion in the League Cup on Tuesday. They are anxious to avoid a second embarrassing defeat in 4 days, obviously, but they're managing